This is the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney with a quick check on what's going on. So here's my man to get into it.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm actually a little hoarse still from partying and yelling all weekend at this music fest down the Jersey Shore at Asbury Park, the See Here Now Festival. I'm not getting paid for an ad here, but Lenny Kravitz, Trombone Shorty, Blink-182 and Hozier were the headliners, and then De La Soul. They brought out Talib Kweli to rock the mic, and Public Enemy. PE, one of the biggest reasons I went back. They brought out Daryl DMC from Run DMC for a bit. It was a great 2 days of music. Even the cover bands were rocking the bars afterwards, and I thought I got my SUV towed. Spent about an hour Sunday panicking over nothing. That's another story.
My favorite stories of the day.
But let's start our stories now with driving school, where we were supposed to learn the basics, like when police cruisers, fire trucks, and ambulances come speeding up with their sirens and lights going. Told you. Drivers should all pull over and let the emergency vehicles go by. But last Wednesday the 10th, in New York's town of Wallkill, it's Orange County, Hudson Valley, state police say paramedics were rushing to a call with lights and sirens and passed by a Chrysler on the way, and police only described it as legally passing the car, so did not say if the ambulance scraped the side view mirror, if the driver got upset over the sirens hurting their ears, or maybe just an attorney looking for clients. But cops did say that 47-year-old driver started chasing the ambulance, sped around it, and then swerved in front of the ambulance to try and stop it. Now, they used the word try because the paramedics were responding to a call, so they had to go. But since the driver wanted to stop, state police troopers came and took care of that. They arrested him for ignoring one of the first lessons in driving school and for reckless driving, obstructing medical services, and several other charges. Now to psilocybin mushrooms or shrooms, which might have been what these four hikers were thinking once they got to a camping spot a couple weeks ago in upstate New York's Slide Mountain Wilderness Park, west of Woodstock. Now, for those who missed the NBC News and other reports, the quartet got up there and then apparently got way up there, higher than the mountain they were on. So much so, they gave up on the plan of going hiking and camping with buddies, getting high on shrooms and looking up at the stars until it kicks in, because when it did kick in, at least one reportedly did not end up with a fun trip, and whatever they were seeing or thinking they were seeing apparently got so bad, they started calling 911. Park rangers and firefighters went out there. They found them, and one was so high, one ranger took a picture just to show the sight of two rangers holding this guy up as they walked him down to get checked out. Head all slumped over with his left arm around the ranger's neck, and one ranger had to come back the next day to find a set of keys one of them said they lost. They said the keys were actually in a bag hidden under a log in tall ferns. They just hid it and then took them to an ambulance. So where they were all checked out, and then NBC is reporting park rangers gave them a courtesy ride back to their rental lodges. No charges, no fines. The trip they took was apparently punishment enough. All of the stories in this first section were from the Northeast this time, and, well, let's keep it going, because in Maine, WMTW TV8 is reporting police are looking for whoever destroyed part of a man's business. So there's a guy who searches for missing people and pets, and he was out last Tuesday the 9th looking for two missing beagles. He was flying one of his 3 drones to try and spot the dogs overhead when somebody shot it down. 3 minus 1 equals 2 drones now, and the search business owner says he's just glad the shooter missed the camera. That would have cost another $5,000 to replace. And police in Maine are not the only ones looking for whoever used that drone for aiming practice. No, the drone was part of a business. Making it a commercial aircraft, that's federal. So stick to skeet shooting and hunting season, because federal charges can hurt as bad as a bullet did to that drone when and if they catch the shooter. Back in a moment. But before the break, the Jams podcast keeps jamming.
Blazing the best hip-hop, R&B, reggae, soca.
You can get the Jams podcast mix on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and Deezer. Download the podcast for free.
It's Jams Hour Mix with Greg H.
Experience with celebrity clients to protect you from harm. Like sitting for a network interview after after being indicted. Call McCracken and Butts at 212-55...
And now for the world around us.
There's a moose wandering around a province in northern Austria near Vienna over the past month, and that is not normal. It's basically an immigrant that likely made its way from Poland across the Czech Republic to Austria's north, and this moose, it's made the rounds. A couple of Saturdays ago, it decided to check out train tracks at a rail station. That shut down service for several hours. Folks have been following it in real life and snapping pictures and shooting videos of it and then following it online since somebody set up a Facebook page for the moose, which now has been nicknamed Emil. And Emil has now 10,000 or so followers on his Facebook fan page. No cars damaged. Nobody tried to shoot Emil. It's not America. And police said as of last week, they were not busy chasing it or anything. So not a lot of traffic issues or other problems. Just an Associated Press story about a moose, a young looking moose, but still a moose that took a walk to check out Austria. Well, a 46-year-old guy in Canada is accused of checking out his upstairs neighbor's apartment in a way that did not include bringing by baked cookies and knocking on a door in hopes of being asked in a look around like, any respectable nosy neighbors would do. No, this guy. CTV News is reporting police in Calgary were called to an apartment the Friday before last because a woman had just gotten back in town and could not help but notice the big rectangular hole punched through one of her walls. And she and cops took one look inside that hole and knew it came from the same reason she already had a court order against the downstairs neighbor, who cops told CTV she had several problems with in the past. So that following Monday, from Friday to that Monday, Calgary officers used a search warrant to go into the man's home and snap a picture of the ladder he built to get up to the hole that he also punched through his ceiling, and arrested him, giving screenwriters another creepy neighbor plot line for a horror flick. Well, in England, the Streisand effect strikes again. An anesthesiologist has applied to get his medical license reinstated so he can go back to work. But the BBC is reporting he was let go 2 years ago because while at work, he was accused of putting in work on a nurse in an empty operating room, getting busy until another walked in and caught them. The BBC is saying she reported him. He was let go. Only this stayed under wraps with no media attention until the Medical Practitioners Tribunal Service took up his reinstatement request. And this is where that Streisand effect reference comes into play, because for those who don't know, the singer-actor Barbra Streisand had a very big, expensive mansion built in California and wanted privacy behind her gated-off estate. Now, a photographer took some aerial shots of her property, among, though, about 12,000 other pictures. It was taken as part of a state coastline project, so nothing stood out about the pictures of her estate until she sued in 2003, and the lawsuit itself made news, and then everybody went looking for the pictures. So in wanting to hide her property, she ended up putting the attention on it. The Streisand effect. And this anesthesiologist, in effect, helped the BBC find out through his license reinstatement request that he fessed up to being caught taking an 8-minute break to have sex with a nurse in an operating room 2 years ago. But I said break because he was in the middle of surgery in another operating room when he told that nurse to keep an eye on the patient while he took what he described as a comfort break. Now, if the medical tribunal does reinstate his license, he'll be applying for jobs that do not likely offer comfort breaks, but they will all likely know that he took at least one, because now we all know he did, thanks to his reinstatement request. The Streisand effect strikes again. Back at him.
Keep talking about Dina's husband.
So stumble onto stumble and stumble into love.
Are you telling these guys to watch Real Housewives? They keep asking about Dinah's husband.
No! It's not often that you'd want to lean in for a close sniff of toilet paper. Ew. But the rose-scented paper rolls from Rosie will make you want to press those nostrils up against a roll. And there, you can inhale the rosy aroma soon to bless your bottom and feel the 4 plies of cotton ball softness about to caress your tush. Rosie bathroom rolls, because your butt deserves it.
Available nowhere.
What's up with what's going down, though?
Because a lot of people like bringing their pet dogs everywhere they go, even to a grocery store where fur can shed and end up on food. And a lot of people are scared of dogs, even the little ones. And it is very likely safe to say that even more people are scared of alligators. But that never stopped a 60-year-old man in western Pennsylvania from bringing his emotional support alligator to a Walmart. In western PA's West Brownsville, WPXI Channel 11 News is reporting a shopper took pictures of it wearing a dress in one and a harness in another, and Channel 11 aired the pics in the story they ran on this because a 60-year-old dude was bringing an alligator into a Walmart in Pennsylvania. That's news. It's not Florida. And because the retailer's corporate office told WPXI they know the situation now and talked it over with state and federal officials, maybe attorneys, they decided no emotional support gators no longer could be allowed into Walmart, even though he had been bringing it to go shopping there for about 3 years with no issue. But it is an issue now, and they said they have to balance the 60-year-old's well-being with that of any other shoppers who would be freaked out over a 5-foot-long pet alligator wearing a dress and a harness.
Mike Mann here, dusting off all the classics, and we're going to keep them rolling right now with this funny one from Slammy Sammy.
You know how crazy she is. Let me tell you about a girl, she lives in stop 6. Little bitty thing, she's always in my mix. Shooting crap just the other day. The girl snatched my dice and had to talk right away. Needless to say, it was a big embarrassment in front of my boys and my girl with that harassment. Slap happy thing. You better get you a woman if you wanna be a man. Slap happy thing, I'm real. I'm a real man, baby, better get with the
plan. Done with another Real Pod newscast. Thanks as always for listening. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll be back at it on Friday.
This has been the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney from Show Enough Productions. And for more, hit up the website, realpodnewscast.com. That's real with 2 E's. This is Big Daddy Marty Allen. Thanks for listening.
Rapper Doug E. and Show Enough.